This is Workplace Diversity by Stefano Seschia, Marek Siklin, Juan Diego Luengo, Diego Loria, Mateo Mazardo, and Caroline River. In an ever-growing and populated world which is growing exponentially, the variety of gender, age, religion, race, ethnicity, cultural differences, sexual orientation, education, and abilities is at an all-time high. As a result, it has never been more important and harder to implement and nurture workplace diversity. Moving on into context. Workplace diversity consists of a mix of workers with different backgrounds. It means that you have a more heterogeneous mix in the workforce. Some examples of things which might differentiate the workers is gender, age, ethnicity, and sexual orientation. Workplace diversity is used to achieve certain goals. It has both a positive and negative effect.
Some of the positives of workplace diversity include increased creativity and innovation, and a variety of perspectives. The latter and former combine for better decision making as a resulting positive of workplace diversity. Modern companies and employees see workplace diversity as a must have in their company. Therefore, it makes for an inclusive, engaging, and attractive environment. Moving on to the challenges of workplace diversity, the first is implementation, then language and communication barriers, then resistance to change, and in the individual, including the fear of the unknown, new learning, disruptions of stable conditions, or distrust of management. As for the organization resistances, a threat to the power structure, inertia of organizational structure, systems, relationship, and vested interests might be compromised and might result as a challenge to workplace diversity. Also, overcoming bias and stereotypes are a challenge of workplace diversity, and last but not least, intolerance as a threat that can lead to racism needs to be moderated and kept in check.
For our hot topic, we're going to talk about the gender wage gap. This refers to the difference between what a man makes and what a woman makes. Now, we have all heard the saying that women earn 73 cents on the dollar for what a man makes. Now, even though this stat is true, it is calculated by taking the mean average salaries of men, dividing them by the total men in the workforce, and the mean average salaries of women and dividing that by the women in the workforce. This is not very accurate because it doesn't take into account the decisions made prior to that stat being taken, such as career choices. For example, a study found that the highest paying majors such as petroleum engineering, computer science, and aerospace engineering are made up of nearly 80% male, whereas the lowest paying majors such as education, psychology, and human services are made up of mostly women. This is the main reason for the difference in pay for men and women, because men choose to follow money, whereas women choose to follow what makes them passionate in a career.
So moving on to managerial tips. So first thing is to encourage employees to work in diverse groups. As diverse work teams let employees get to know and value one another on an individual basis and can help break down preconceived notions and control misunderstandings. The second one is to base standards on objective criteria. Set one standard of rule for all groups of employees, regardless of background, is important. Ensure that all employment actions, including discipline, follow the standardized criteria to make sure each employee is treated the same. And the last but not least one is to be prepared for generational gaps and cycles. Today's companies often employ people from up to 4 different generations, and it's no surprise that each generation has their own unique style, needs, goals, and traits for employers to consider.
To conclude, as mentioned before by my teammates, diversity in the workplace has many benefits to companies and also some disadvantages. Some of the main positive things are that diverse work teams bring high value to organizations, meaning that you have access to more talent. Also, a big thing is that diversity in the workplace exposes societal bias which means men and women are treated equally. Finally, the most important thing is that customers are attracted to the diversity in the workplace, and this is very important since we know customers are one of the most important things in a business. Now, for some of the disadvantages, is the time of implementation. It takes time to have a diverse work team. Also, some work teams teammates become hostile during an increase in diversity, meaning they can be rude or unpolite to some of the new members. And finally, there are a lot of stereotypes when you have a diverse group.